Mother's Day to mums everywhere. I'm blowing a bit because I've just walked up a hill. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to my mum, and as I say, to all mothers everywhere. Bit of a weird one this year as we're not officially allowed to visit, but I had to get out and escape, so I'm doing a walk today. Another one from the old walk book from about 15, possibly even longer years ago. That was the last time I did this one, so huge scope for getting lost. Last time I did this one I had the kids in tow, as you can see. That's when they were cute. They've all grown up now. So yeah, I've got a little slip of paper. Should take me roughly across from Stilton, which is where we are. Stilton across to Denton, across to Washingley, to Folksworth and back to Stilton. And if I do that without getting lost, I should be mighty impressed. It's a lovely morning. Blue sky, 4 degrees above freezing though, so it's still quite cold, but yeah, it's a bit of exercise, got to get out. That's the climb over the hill beyond Stilton done. We're now coming down into the village of Denton through the farmyard. A bit more sheltered down here. Definitely the highlight of Denton village, which is where we're now at, is this church, Denton Church. It's as you can see, it's derelict. It was still in use in the 1960s. I guess it just didn't have the congregation size to keep going. I don't really know the history of it in terms of why it closed down, but it's a listed building, which is why it's still here, albeit it's not in the safest of states. Last time I came here with the kids, we actually went inside, but it's all sort of fenced off now, so I'm not going to try and do that, although I've found a few holes to poke the camera through, so I'll let you have a look. Yeah, it dates back to 1600s from what I understand, but there's bits of it that are supposedly going back to about 1300. It's mentioned in the Domesday Book, albeit that's probably another church on this site, but it certainly goes back a long way, and it is listed, Grade 2 listed, but I don't know what the future of this church is. It would be a shame to lose it. Yeah, it's a sort of well, it's not a spooky sight on a lovely day like this, but it's a strange one in the woods in the village of Denton. Yeah, it's a fantastic place, worth coming and having a look at. Left or right, left or right. Let's go right. Should be a footpath somewhere, according to my map, but it's not clear which side of this crossroads we've got to be. Okay, not lost. We're on track. We're okay, he said confidently. Okay, we've jumped across to Washingley. A very strange place, very medieval around here. There used to be a village that is no longer around. We'll see that, or we won't see that, but I'll show you the site further along. Some lovely settings here, fish ponds. There is a manor house somewhere around here which I'll find, and there's also there's a moat where the old manor house used to be, which again I hope to pick up in a minute. But there's a lovely pond here, and just behind this, although you can't see it because it's hidden in the trees, there's a series of fish ponds where in medieval days they basically grew their own fish, carp and the likes, for the purposes of eating in pre-fishmonger days basically, and they're all still here covered in undergrowth. This is a lovely pond. I can remember this with the kids about 15 years ago. So yeah, we're into Washingley now. These are the medieval fish ponds, which were like long, thin, rectangular cuts of water that used to sit usually in banks of 3, 4, 5. There's one here. There's one next door over there, and there's another one in the distance as well. And yeah, these were man-managed to grow fish for the estate. I don't know, maybe for the villagers as well. We used to have things like carp in here, things they could eat. I doubt there's anything in there now, but yeah, they still survive. You can see these at places like Thorpe Hall. I've seen a few others on my travels, but these are about the best I've seen. Medieval fish ponds. The building over there is Hall Farm. It used to be more recently the site of the sort of manor house for Washingley, but the original manor house going back to sort of I think 1600s and beyond was, in my opinion, because nobody really knows over here, what you got here is a depression in the ground, which is a good old traditional moat, and there is a raised bit of land right in the centre there, which is probably where the manor house was. The original manor house, that is. But the history of Washingley is very, very vague. You can Google it and you will struggle to find any definite. It's a strange old place full of mystery, but there is a moat here, and there must have been a moat here for a reason. The site of Hall Farm. It may have been where the manor house was. It's very difficult to know exactly what the lie of the land was in medieval times. I mean, these fantastic gates here suggest there was something much grander on this site than just a farm. and there surely was a manor house somewhere here. Okay, behind me in this field here, you may be able to see some bumps and lumps and strange sort of anomalies in the landscape. This was where the medieval village of Washingley was. I mean, it was mentioned in the Domesday Book, and it was definitely here in the Middle Ages, but then it just vanished, and nobody knows why. You can Google it, you won't find an answer. Nobody knows why. Some people say it's because of the plague. I doubt that personally, because of the dates, but I think the more likely explanation is that the lord of the manor decided he didn't want a village on his lands, and they basically got evicted. There was a big thing going on in the Middle Ages called emparkment, where big landowners basically cleared their lands and just returned it to sheep grazing, greenery, and I just think the village was probably just closed down and people were moved on, but you can come up with your own explanations. Archaeologists have dug this field and they found remains of the building, so it was definitely here, but it isn't anymore. It's just vanished, but you can still see the lumps very distinctly, and if you go on Google Earth or something similar, look down from above, you can see markings that suggest there's something underneath the soil. But yeah, that's all that's left now of Washingley village. It was about 100, 120 strong. It wasn't a big place, but it's always yeah, always a bit strange when a village just vanishes. They are, just to prove I'm not going nuts, they've actually put a board up, which wasn't here last time. You can't read it because it's filthy dirty, but yeah, the site of Washingley village. Okay, well, we've gone round Washingley and we're heading down towards Folksworth now, and then it's a nip across the fields to Stilton, so I'm going to wrap up. Camera charge light is flashing at me. When you do these walks, technically there's a couple of things you really need to remember. One is power packs to recharge your phone with, and I'm smart because I brought not just one, but I've got 2 power packs in my bag. The other thing you have to bring is a cable to connect them to your phone, and numbnuts here left that at home, so I can't charge my phone up, so it's going to die on me very shortly. Still can't get it all right, can you? Yeah, happy Mother's Day again to all mothers out there, and to the rest of you, look after yourselves. It's a pain in the ass what we're going through, but you've got to do what you've got to do. Take the advice, do it. It's a pain, but it won't last forever. So, getting attacked by a pheasant there. Yeah, look after yourselves, be sensible, do what you're being told to do, and we'll all come through this and come out the other side. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going home, it's still cold.